Right. Good day. I'm Dr. Vishnu Durga from Action Coach Guyana and the Who's Who in Guyana Business Directory. And we are continuing our interviews with innovative Guyanese companies and entrepreneurs to first of all learn a little bit more about their business and also to hear what they've been doing throughout this particular season that we're experiencing in Guyana right now. And today I have with me a very special guest, the owner of RRT Enterprise, Mr. Sean Ramaratan. Sean, welcome.
Hi, Doc. Welcome to thanks for having me on the program at a very, I would say, a special time.
Yeah,
Of
it's really
pandemic.
telling times in Guyana. We have, several pandemics. We have an election pandemic right now. We have, the coronavirus, and we also have, low oil prices. We are all waiting to have, much better economy, but that's also on hold right now. But Sean, first of all, one of the key things that I really want you to share with everyone who's watching is tell me a little bit about the history of RRT. A lot of people might have heard the name, but tell me a little bit about the history of RRT and what are some of the services that you offer?
All right. RRT started sometime back in 1985 as a normal snack it and off license liquor store. And then we grew from there. Well, of course, we are located on Regent Street. As you would know, that is one of the busiest thoroughfare now for a couple of years in Guyana, of which me being in the automotive business now would have kind of overgrown the area. Nevertheless, from strength to strength, we strive from those years and trying to have a passion to develop the automotive industry in terms of parts and tires and also to complement with the services that we do. And we have grown over the year. We have grown over the years of having the different machineries and resources. Example in terms of the alignment, computerized alignment, and all the other state-of-the-art equipment to keep the business going efficiently to date. So we are overall in the sector of transportation and the automotive sector, and that is like the tires, parts, products, and of course the surfaces that complement along with it. So you have
And
more of a commodity.
and is it that you are mostly focused on servicing people and organizations within Georgetown, or do you also find people outside of
But what
Georgetown coming?
happened over the years, within the trying times and whatever, we are mostly within the private sector and of course the public sector.
Hmm.
Being that we're centrally located, we tend to more with the public sector.
Hmm.
And of course, all the embassies and all the diplomatic services that are being here in Guyana and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
mean, the average person that have a vehicle, they would able to know, being
Hmm.
that in a strategic location,
Hmm.
you could get the stuff done.
All right, and we did start off. So you did mention that it's the whole range of automotive products, and
And
also the
services.
services, right? Also the services. I know that even for alignments and so that's my go-to place.
You know, a simple thing to put it, being Regent Street is here. I mean, I told you it's busy. What I noticed over the years, you have a lot of, I mean, you have a lot of female drivers
Hmm.
and owners of vehicle too, and then they would want it to know where to car their vehicle, and then sometimes by chance they are on Regent Street, they go and do some other kind of shopping. They could kill
Hmm.
two birds with one stone.
Right, right, right.
Of course, the service that we render here, I mean, we try our best. I mean, we're closed circuit in terms of seeing what is being done, and more of a personalized service of if you buy your products, you can see
Hmm.
that it's being installed, and
Hmm.
those kind of security measures and stuff that we have.
Yeah, I think I definitely feel I can remember at least 10 years now. And probably since I was in Barbies as well, I was, I've always used your service. So I'm really happy with that level of transparency.
Appreciate that. At least that speak millions. A couple of words speak millions.
And we did talk about this coronavirus that has affected our country, has affected the world really, and I asked you if you wanted to share as well, because you're one of the Guyanese who has experienced it and has recovered. And how was that? How was that journey?
Well, being one of the Guyanese, I mean, that lives here, we tend to take things for granted.
Mm,
And to be honest, I wouldn't put it to that extent. I mean, I took precautions when I heard about the virus and stuff, and but not to the 100% as what we're supposed to be taking it.
mm,
Just to learn that I got the virus.
mm,
Now, at the point of having the virus there, it me personally, and I just want to let me persons understand, I was confusing myself at a point in time when I had the virus. Taking
mm,
the precautions or the preventive measures until at the time when I got it, I was still taking preventive measures.
mm.
So I was mixing myself up with the treatment
Yeah.
and the preventive measures, which didn't really work out. I had to make sure I get myself in order to know that,
Mm,
look, I had the virus and I had to take the treatment. Now, taking the treatment sounds like something elaborate, which all of us know there is no vaccine or anything of the sort to date. I mean, we just got to purely work on our immune system.
mm,
That is the ammunition we have,
yeah.
and we gotta try and maintain and get a good artillery in terms of that, like boosting immune system. I mean, that is what I did, but not recognizing, not withholding that I had to recognize the treatment and not necessarily preventative measures at that point in time. And I worked through with it. I mean, when I diagnosed I had it, I went into isolation, being the protocols being realized in Guyana. And 14 days for the in isolation. Of course, I had to do two negatives. I had to get two negatives to prove that I'm
Mm,
out of it. And then within that time, being a Guyanese, I had to try to get see as much as possible how I could eliminate this stigmatization within our diaspora.
yeah.
Because the usual thing, local terms, hey, don't go by Sean, by yeah, the virus, things like that did
Mm,
happen. You heard person, you had your own friends talking about it.
mm,
So with that in mind, I went public. I was I was asked to donate my plasma, which I did.
mhm,
And to date, I learned that it had saved two persons' lives,
yeah.
which wasn't proven and still not proven yet that it helps. But I knew that it helped two persons. They were worse off than me, and they're being released now. So with that in mind, I still would advise persons to practice the social distancing, practice all protocols. Like I'm on Regent Street, as you know, I'm an essential business. The person tend to feel, man, Sean, how you opening, but it's an essential business.
Mhm,
Being essential business, that's one part, but I make sure I stress on persons coming to my business that they're being sanitized before they enter.
mhm.
Of course, practicing the social distancing, and that's basic that as I can get of just using the preventive measures or using the protocols that is being in place
And
and working around it.
maybe one of the key
So
things I can
persons,
ask you is yeah, is how do you feel now?
I think I don't want to exaggerate. I feel better than before.
Mm, mm,
I'm feeling firm. I mean, I had a little bit of weakness, not to that extent, but I would say it's mind over matter.
mm,
I still enjoy doing what I do
mm.
and try to balance my thoughts on an average day just to make sure that everything works well.
And most of us would have
Because the pandemic is
experienced,
going.
yeah,
Oh
most
yeah, oh
most
yeah.
most
Well,
of us
most
would
of
have
us,
experienced the flu before or a cold before. What are the differences
right?
between what you experienced
All
and
right.
what we would experience as a flu?
What I experienced. my symptoms that I experienced was I lost my taste and smell, and I had a fever like never before. That fever, I never had a fever like that. And of course, uh, I tried. I used the chloroquine, the local ones, after the advice of some of my friends. I took a dose of it, and I had quarantined myself when I had those feelings a week before I was tested. So when I tested, it was showing it still had shown positive, but the symptoms had died away
Mm,
using the medication. I mean, persons are saying the medication didn't work, but for me it worked. I would say it worked.
mm.
But I just used that dose, and then within the other week when I tested, I was safe. I mean,
So
that's the most of it.
would you say that the fever was the most difficult thing you had to go through?
Yeah, for me, the symptoms for me was a fever.
Fever and
It's a
much.
very intense. Well, for like I said, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it was very intense for me. The
Mhm,
fever
mhm,
was very high, and it didn't last. It lasted like for about an hour, and then when you catch back yourself, you feel really drained. But then
mhm.
it keep repeating itself like every 3 hours and stuff like that.
Okay, okay. All
But
right,
but
then
it was a good weird experience.
great experience. And what's the biggest lesson that you got from that?
The biggest lesson is sometimes you gotta face or you gotta experience something. Just don't take it for granted and imagine it and fear it. If that's the position you have to go through, you have to go through it. You
Mhm,
know, we
mhm,
tend to fear this thing and so on. And the word fear, I describe it as two ways for me. I work it as an acronym.
mhm.
It's simple. It's either you face everything and rise or forget everything and run. And that's how
And,
I work it.
and I'm very happy that you chose the first option, which is, face it and rise, right? Face everything and rise.
There you go. There you go.
Very good. You
Yeah,
did
but
mention as
like
well
like
that
any other human, sometimes we tend to make mistakes.
yeah. You did mention that you are listed based on the order as an essential service. I think you have to make sure you keep our automotive side of things running, especially for the public service, the police and whatnot, to make sure that their vehicles keep going. So um, really happy
Apart
that
from the
you're doing
police
it.
and stuff, Ministry of Health too. We
Minister of
are
Health.
one of the yeah, and they got vehicles 24/7. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm really happy that you're out there and you're making sure that everything happens and happens safely. Is there any final advice you would like to share with maybe other business people as well and your fellow Guyanese?
But you know what? In terms of business, we tend to look. I mean, at this point here, I believe it's best to see persons' mistakes and try and learn from it,
Mm,
rather than just watching only the successes of persons and learn from it. At this point, I believe more in learning from the experiences of their mistakes,
yeah.
or try to experience their mistakes. Um, the the way how business is right now, I mean, we're still uncertain, and you know the reasons economically, then the pandemic, and then whatever the case may be. We just can't just drop tools and say what happened. I mean, we're
Mm,
in survival mode now. We will be in survival mode all the time, yes, but still better things. We gotta think for the better and not for the worse.
mm,
So with that in
mm,
mind, I mean, I'm here as an essential business. I mean, I try my best during this time, try to offer some discounts. Not try, I'm offering some discounts in
mm,
terms of services. Like example, an alignment, you could come and get it done at the half price.
mm,
I mean, off the board, I'm doing that.
mm.
It's not the best thing, but it's the best thing for now.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm in survival mode, like any other one.
Mm,
Some ports are not even opening; they can't
mm,
open.
yeah.
So it's a supply chain. I'm having my employees still working. I mean, some courses are not even working. So right away along the line, right around the, it's more of a holistic approach. I'm trying my best in the
Mhm.
survival mode, as I said, to get things going.
All right. Well, Sean, I can say, I'm very, very happy that you beat Corona, because that's really what you did, and you continue to push and provide a fantastic service to everyone who does business with your organization. I would encourage you, make sure that you keep advising people on the best practices, since you have experienced it already, and all the best in business.
Well, thank you, Vishnu. Thanks a lot for that, and I appreciate you having the time to take the time to let's have a little interview to see what's happening. I mean, you're doing a fantastic job there, and with all the efforts of all of us, I'll put it.
Yeah,
That's the only way I think we can make it.
yeah,
You know,
definitely.
rather than we just stay just cool all it. I mean, you gotta stay cool, but we just need this communication, and we need it, need it. I
Yeah.
mean, this is one of the best things happening now.
Mhm.
You talk to me so many times, you could have been doing it, but we as humans, we our brain is wired that we tend to see change when it's drastic, not when it's gradual. you
Well,
know.
you would be amazed by how many people have come to us in the past 2 months, the whole 5 years. Had so many people, and sometimes you wish if you
So
had
what,
come a little bit earlier. But it's time. When it is the right time is the right time.
like I said, what I just told you, that speaks for itself. You know.
Yeah, it's the right time is the right time. But thank you
Anyhow,
very much. Thank you very much, Sean, and all the best. And I'd like to encourage people to make use of your service as well. I myself do. So I look forward to talking to you again soon.
yeah, Vishnu, thank you, and be safe. And I encourage everyone to stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. And those persons who are watching right now, like the video, love the video, and make sure that you share it with anyone else who can really benefit. And again, anybody with a vehicle could benefit from RRT. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks.